This is Ravens Flock Talk Podcast, coming to you every week with their thoughts and opinions on each and every Ravens game. Tune in weekly and join the flock.
You are now listening to Ravens Flock Talk. I am your host, Brandon, with my co-host, my dad. And as we are recording this is a Wednesday. We were late. I apologize for that. I was on business travel, but we wanted to squeeze in the episode before the next game. So here we are. And I just want to address some things from last week from our YouTube channel. Big shout out to Mr. SL saying he's the third sub. We appreciate it. You know, we're very small starting out. We made a comment about Marlon Humphrey, and I made a comment about Marlon Humphrey, and we want to respond to you about his comment saying, did you see the defense collapse as soon as they took Humphrey out due to injury? He is the continuity in the defense. His football IQ is on fleek, from the words of SL. So, Dad, how do you respond to his take on Marlon Humphrey?
Well, shout out to SL for one thing. And Humphrey, yeah, I mean, he is one of the key defensive players on the team, and he kind of drives how the Ravens play defense. And I will say he's kind of right, because Humphrey had a key interception.
Well, remember, this was the Dolphins game.
I know, I'm saying.
Ironically, the next game after he has
he had an interception.
Basically a gimme interception.
But I have to say, in general, the defense was awful last game. So, including him.
Yeah, and he has his ups and downs. Like, I won't say he's the backbone of this defense. I don't really think any player is. So that's where I would disagree with you, SL, because you got to think we're spoiled with all the years we had with Ray and Ed. You could always count on those guys. And Marlon's just not that type of player.
Well, one thing about Marlon, he's not known for a lot of interceptions throughout the year. More than anything, he's known for punching the ball out and creating turnovers.
Yeah.
So that's how he would respond to SL, that, hey, you know, he's great after the catch, trying to punch it out. And again, sometimes when he's trying to punch it, the runner gets extra yardage. The wide receiver will get extra yardage on that as well if he misses.
We just got to wrap up, basically. And I just want to respond to the next comment from last week's game against the Dolphins, last week's video from Fergie Boy, B-O-I. He said, hey, man, keep up the great content. The game was awesome. Well, the first 48 minutes anyways. And yeah, that's just how it is as a Ravens fan. It's never over till it's over. You got to play 60 minutes. So I would say me and my dad both agree with that. You know, the game was great until the ending. So
well, I was thinking about that comment because it is just fun to watch the Ravens now, right? And to have such a premier quarterback out of 32 teams, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. It's definitely fun to watch him every week because he really stepped up his game another notch. You know, there's always this mantra about Lamar, if he can reach the next level in his passing game, and he's proving everybody wrong. Everybody's claiming him so far as to be the MVP of the league. He's really shown so far that betting on himself is turning out to be the right decision if he can stay healthy.
But stay healthy.
My God, it's like, you know, back a couple years ago, me and you would be afraid whenever he drops back. You know, is he going to throw a pick? What's going to happen? And now he seems calm. He's even on the sideline, like a couple years ago, you would see him really riled up, and we love that about him. But now he just seems like just in the flow of the game, and he's just like it seems so effortless when he's playing.
So many aspects of his game has improved, and he's betting on himself this year, and I can see why. He's beefed himself up. He's bigger than he's ever been. Some people would say, well, is he going to lose speed? Well, he's already proven in the first 3 games he's not losing speed. And he's like bringing people with him. Like there was a touchdown that he made in the game that he dragged a few people in the end zone. That shows his strength. And what I like about it is his IQ. I mean, he's really improved on his IQ in terms of changing the play at the line of scrimmage. It's been all over the media how well he's able to control the game, Brandon.
Yeah, so let's just, we're already talking about Lamar. Let's jump into this game against the New England Patriots. Overall, a good performance, especially by the offense. First half, I thought there was a key play with Queen getting the sack, and we had Hamilton rushing as well. So I really thought that was just to highlight McDonald, our defensive coordinator. It was a good scheme to kind of get us some pressure on the quarterback for a change. So, but I mean, it's been rough so far with McDonald, but I really wanted to highlight that play. I love the fact that we have Hamilton also rushing the quarterback and creating some confusion for the offensive line.
I totally agree. And the other key aspect in the game in the first quarter, actually was Andrews' one-hand catch. And he's having us talk about a phenomenal year. It was predicted, both Lamar and Andrews, and they're both proving it. And I love the way he's playing. And you can't say enough about him. I mean, he's really the heartbeat of the of the tight ends. Actually, the receiving game.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's our number one guy in our receiving core. He had that great catch. Honestly, risky pass by Lamar, kind of throwing off his back foot, but Andrews had to reach over the corner and catch the ball in the end zone. I mean, it was crazy. As soon as he threw it, I was like, oh gosh, this looks like Kyle Bowler closing his eyes, throwing it up for a prayer. But Andrews held on. Should have been also a pass interference too on that call. But I mean, everything was going right definitely in that first half. Well, let's go back a little bit to history. We're 0-6 with the Patriots, other than in the playoffs. So this was a key matchup. Belichick against Harbaugh again. And that's pretty cool. Now I want to talk about Dobbins. Here's his first game back. Everybody's anticipating it. I was arguing with Brandon at the beginning of the game because I wanted Lamar to get him immediately in the game with a little swing pass, get him into the flow of the game instead of having a straight handoff.
Let's hold up now. You say immediately, but it was the first play of the game. He goes, he's right there, he's open, get him in the game. And I go, Dad, the game just started. It's literally the first play of the game. Relax. It's going to be okay.
I understand, but you want to get this guy coming off over almost 2 years of without.
I don't want him to get. You know what? I'm glad that the Ravens eased him in and didn't just, let's pound it to him time and time again. Let's get him the ball every chance. He's got to get in the flow, the speed. Let's not risk this guy getting injured again, and next thing you know, his career's done.
No, I'm not saying that.
It's a long season.
It is. I'd rather have him on a little swing pass out in open space than right up the middle, up the gut, trying to cut and test that, that knee of his, right? And everything else of the injury that he had. So, but anyway, long story short.
My dad is very big on swing passes. He loves the short yardage, Tom Brady-esque game plan. But I'm glad that we're airing it out. I mean, we are a deadly offensive team. We can hit you both ways. If you want to go there, Patrick Ricard too. I mean, he is a weapon that we use. He plays a lot of the games. You mean don't use?
Well, we don't use him how I like to use him. I mean, we're using him in blocking, run blocks, and which is good. He's pancaking people, but I would love to see him as a decoy in the pass game. Blocking and then decoy and pass to him more often.
Basically, he wants us to use him like Kyle Juszczyk for the 49ers. The difference is, though, is Juszczyk is much smaller and faster. So, I mean, I agree with you. 3rd and 1s, just give it to him. It should be obvious to every opponent that he's going to get the ball, and you can't do a thing about it.
Well, he's a freak of nature.
It's like the Bears with the fridge back in the day, in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. But he's like a fridge with speed.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. But anyway. You won't see him utilized that much in the passing game, but I do agree with you, short yardage. But speaking of short yardage, how about that Andy Reid-esque play on the goal line, a little shuffle pass to Andrews for the touchdown? I mean, that's something we have never seen, ever.
I know. Patrick Mahomes does it like 3 or 4 times a game. So I'm glad to see that. And hey, here was the hit last game against Miami is our short yardage. So that was going to be a key to this game. How are they handling it? It was all week long. Everybody was talking about their short yardage. Ravens don't know how to get it. And that was good to see on the first drive. And you know what's also good, Brandon, is them getting off to a quick start,
Yeah.
That was another thing, because last year, I believe they did get off to quick starts with a lead, which only makes it easier for Lamar coming out the gate with that Andrews touchdown, 7-0. You'll like to see that. Last week was Duvernay with a touchdown return, kickoff return. So
I will say too, it's with this team, it's detrimental sometimes to get off to a quick start because we ease up later in the game as if the game's over, and that's what happened with Miami. And I know you mentioned this was big for us because we haven't won in New England in the regular season for I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
It's a bit different because Brady's not there, but I think this game was more important not because of that stat, but because of the way Miami went. And you needed to come out and win this game because if you lost this, Buffalo had to be a must-win.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not a must-win because we won this game, but the pressure is off a little bit. But of course, we want to go in and beat Buffalo, but the pressure would be immense if we blew this game to this Pats team, and I would have been very disappointed.
And also, remember, we haven't played anybody in the AFC North yet.
Exactly.
So these games that we win are critical, because now we're going to go later in the season and play all division games.
Yep.
Right. So that's
NFL seems to love to do that to us.
Yeah,
the last game of the season I've noticed is always a division game. Always.
Yeah.
The
Fans,
past couple
why
of years.
is that? Why is it always on the back end?
This is the NFL, man.
You know, I guess it's the drama. of it all.
Suspense
and drama, because they know it's going to be close, and here it is. So I guess we can't fault them for that.
I will say too, give credit to the defense in the first half. I mean, we had a nice stuff on fourth down. They went for it, and we stuffed them. That was a big surprise. I was not expecting us to do that because of the way this defense. So we had some good highlights, with the defense. Brandon Stevens had a nice recover on a critical down to break up the ball. It was going to be a touchdown, but he ended up recovering. I think it hit him on the shoulder pads or something like that. But on Brandon Stevens and this corners, Devontae Parker for the Patriots was killing us. I mean, and this was his first game that they really got him the ball. Why don't the Ravens, with our best corner, say, all right, enough's enough. We don't need our third string guy on their number one target. Put Humphrey on there. Put Peters on there. I don't get it. I mean, I get maybe they like one side or the other. But my God, you see a guy like Ramsey, he's going to strap up the best receiver. Why don't we do that when he was killing us all game?
I can't agree more. But I also want to talk about now the defense, and it's not all positive.
Well, we're talking about the defense. That's what I'm saying.
No, but I'm saying it's not all positive on the defense, Brandon. And what happened is this game in the first half was going back and forth and back and forth. And the Patriots were methodically moving it down the field. And this is what we've seen way too often. So we did, though, we got some interceptions in the first half and stop those drives, but you'd hate to see that. You hate to see a team just methodically and easily seem like they're just going down the field on our defense.
I don't think we got a pick in the first half, but I can't remember now. It's been a while. I don't have it down, but I will say too, before halftime, the Ravens really blew it by letting deep passes, not protecting the sideline. We need to, as I say, if you start off strong, you got to finish strong too, and that's not just the end of the game. That's also involving halftime too. So being smarter with that and showing up big, both the first half and second half is critical. Second half, Queen drops that pick six. I mean, that was.
That's what I was waiting for you to get to, because I'm saying moments in the game, that was like a 99-yard pick, and that would have really changed the complexion of the games being so close. I mean, this score really, when you're looking at it, went back and forth by 7 or 3 points, all the way up through the through the first half.
It was definitely closer than what the score set it out to be.
Right. I mean. Let's talk about.
But wait! I will say too on that Queen. I remember saying in one of the Ravens groups I'm in on Facebook, me and my dad were just furious because it hits him right in the stomach. And someone said to me, which I totally agree, is, there's players that make those plays, and we don't even have that type of guy on defense. And I'm not to just bag on Queen and stuff, but I feel like it's 50-50 with the Ravens fan base. You either like them or you don't. And you would really like to see that play, as much as this defense is struggling, make the play, because the next play after, they score a touchdown. I mean, thankfully our offense is picking us up, but just think if that wasn't the case, how critical that play was. And some people are like, oh, you just being negative, you just being this and that. I'm like, it's not about always rooting for your team and being positive. When you have to call them out, you got to call them out, and he's got to make that play.
Yeah, it's just key plays. And the fan base sometimes say, "Oh, you're too hard." And people, they drop passes, but in key moments, and you can even hear it on the commentators. They say, "Oh, that could have been changing the whole complexion of the game." When you hear that, you know what a key play it was. I mean, everybody does, but to drop those kind of passes. I mean, right in his hands, 99 yards.
These fans must not know how New York radio is, how tough they are on all their sports teams.
Well, you know what? I have to laugh because that's how Pittsburgh is. And I've always told Brandon, so for so many years, the ball seems to go in their favor. They always seem to have that, and the ball, and especially the fourth quarter, go their way, or a play go their way.
Play call, anything.
Going back
Challenge.
to Palomalo days, it's like, wow. That's when you can't be beat. Even if you're losing, you realize you can't. A team that now like that to me is Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. They never think they can lose. That's the kind of team I want Ravens to be. Never thinking you're out. And we do have that because we have Lamar.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's so funny. A post-game interview, somebody asked him a question, and he goes, "I'm playing the Lamar football way."
Yeah.
And that's true. Because it used to be play like a Raven. Now it's like play like Lamar.
What's crazy about him is everybody was afraid of his feet, and they still are. But the way he's throwing it, he's got the most touchdowns so far. Now they're afraid of his arm, I feel like, more than his running game. Exactly. And when you got getting players involved like Duvernay, how big has Duvernay been so far?
I was just going to bring him up. And not only in the passing game now, on kick returns,
the punt returns,
and punt returns, kick returns. I mean, he is putting us in field position to win. And in that fourth quarter, I believe, is when he hit
he had a great punt return, and then Lamar had a long run that same drive.
Lamar had a 42-yard run. I mean, that's a 1-2 punch in the fourth quarter.
And I think Duvernay ended up with the touchdown that drive. I
think he did
in the back corner.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. Oh, by the way, Justice Hill finally came through with some nice runs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was good to see. And back to Dobbins. He did have a decent game. He admitted he's not back to full strength. But I thought he did well. I really did.
He did. It was a good first game. I'm glad, he got his legs warm and stuff. On that hill, a couple of the hill runs, Zeitler had a beautiful block too. So I just wanted to give some love to the O-line in that first half.
Yeah. I mean, everybody says that that's so critical. And by the way, penalties. We have not had. I think we have the least penalties in the first 3 games.
When have you said that about the Ravens?
Oh, I know. It's crazy. No offside.
Nothing.
It's crazy.
And even not only that, we're so used to the stupid penalties, right? Yeah. Like after the play,
personal foul,
none of that. It seems like the Patriots with Brady and their golden years, they were so disciplined. If a player did something like that, Bill is pulling him out.
Right. Hey, let's talk about Linderbaum in the first draft. When you don't hear his name, when you don't see him make mistakes for a rookie and center, one of the most important positions on the O-line, that's incredible. So I got to give some love and props to Linderbaum. He is really the real deal, and I love the kid. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
So,
also what happened in the second half, you mentioned a pick. It actually happened in the second half. That was the Josh Bynes pick. Speaking of Josh Bynes, I'm leaving work last week, and I'm coming home, and I see this guy, and I go, wait a second, that's Josh Bynes. And I try to turn around, I can't, it's a one-way, and I couldn't find him. But ironically, it was funny that I saw him walking around in Towson, near Towson University, And next thing you know, this game, he gets a pick. You know, I'm
calling
like,
out his name. That was
who would have
cool.
thought?
He didn't tell you the whole story. He wanted to jump out of the car and say,
Oh yeah, of course. That would have been even better. I would have put up a picture right there of of me and Josh, especially with this interception he had. But it's great that we're getting some turnovers. Another big one was Kyle Hamilton stripping the ball, laid out. I mean, finally, we were on his case.
No, everybody. He was getting killed in the media.
Yeah,
right. He's not who he is. He needs to step up. And to his credit as a rookie, he stepped up and said, "Yeah, I'm not playing up to expectations for the fans or the players," which really hit home for me. I said, "That's really cool. I wish him a good game," and he had a critical strip. Chasing down a runner and not giving up on the play. And I think that's going to really give him confidence.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he needed to make a play, whether it was a pick or even a fumble recovery. He just needed to be there. And
hey, SL, that shout out to you. That's how Humphrey got his big contract doing that.
But, it was so critical because that was after Bateman had fumbled. And then Humphrey gets the pick, and then Hamilton ends it with that, and Marcus Peters with a beautiful scoop to get both feet in. I mean, it's great to see guys like him, also getting into it after being out all last year.
Right, and for the fans, hey, over to offense, Oliver getting his first touchdown. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool because, that's very rare, as we all know.
Peters also got an interception.
Marcus Peters got the interception. So it was a well-rounded.
At the end of the game.
For this game, you got to say it was pretty well-rounded. I still have some concerns with the defense and giving up too much yardage and not playing more, what is it, close man-to-man almost, I want to say.
Yeah.
Or
it's definitely tough with the amount of speed, and even our division, Jamar Chase, Amari Cooper now on the Browns, Pittsburgh has Claypool, they have this Pickens kid that looks pretty deadly. So we have a lot of talent just in our division.
It's true. But in our secondary, we have a lot of payroll for them. And I don't want them playing 10 and 15 yards off, trying to just because they don't want to get beat.
It's tough. And I don't think that's ever going to change. And you're going to see that with Buffalo coming up.
But some of these teams that do dink and dunk passes are going to kill us, like a Tom Brady, like a Patrick Mahomes, that a lot of them that don't go deep a lot will just kill us with that. When they see that zone and those spaces and holes, especially in the middle.
Well, that's where you hope the defensive line can come in and help these guys. We got Pierre-Paul. I'm excited we got a rusher. And Houston has a groin injury, so, hopefully he can recover fast. Owe, where are you? We're looking for you. What is going on? Haven't heard your name not one time in these 3 games. This defense line has to help the corners too. It's not just our secondary.
Yeah.
They play off of each other. Right. And we're going to need it with Buffalo because Josh Allen is great, but who I'm more scared of is Diggs because he makes Allen that much better.
Oh, yeah.
Diggs, I think you could argue he's the number 1 receiver in the league. Mm-hmm. And guys like him kill us, just like Tyreek Hill always did, just like A.J. Green used to back in his heyday. Guys like that always have burned us. And I'm nervous, but the one thing that keeps me sane is the fact that we don't have to go into Buffalo. They have to come into Baltimore. So hopefully that can play a part. We can make it loud and hard for them and come out with a win.
Yeah, it's going to be one heck of a game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and it's going to be raining. So I don't know who has the advantage in that capacity because I really don't know how Lamar plays in the rain.
Cross your fingers. We can lessen the injuries because, when it gets rainy, that ups the stakes.
Well, that too. And then, Lamar likes to be in the shotgun. So that's not good. He's not under center a lot. So, I guess the key will be turnovers in the rain when you look at it.
Yeah.
So, but I can't wait for some of our injured players to come back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pierce got injured and stuff. This was the first game where really some key players got hurt. But you mentioned Gus. I'm hoping he gets back.
They talk about the 4th game of the season. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, and don't get me started on Ronnie because, cotton candy, tissue paper, Ronnie Stanley can't get on the field. Now, if he's not on the field this week, then I just lose hope of this guy getting on the field.
Yeah.
Everybody that was injured last week or this game,
honestly,
return except him.
When it comes to, if I was the Ravens, when it comes to the draft, you got to get a left tackle because you can't put all your eggs in this guy. This is what the Jets did with Makari, I think it is, or no, Mekhi Becton. You know, he's like our Stanley, and they didn't draft one. And now he's out for the season yet again, and they're screwed. And we're kind of in the same position. You got to have some insurance policy that. And know that he's probably not going to come back.
Wasn't Means his replacement, and he got hurt. So
yeah, I'm not sure, but
I'm not either really. But this Ronnie Stanley is just frustrating the mess out of me because he just cannot get on the field. And what good are you when you're not on the field? And I think he has a long-term contract, so they don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
But my thing is, man, suck it up and get out on the field. Everybody else did and plays injured. You need to step up your game. Sorry about that, fan. But he's frustrating.
Ronnie makes some very
he's frustrating. He can't get on the field.
But we're playing Buffalo next. As my dad mentioned, it's going to be raining. You would like to have our 1-2 punch Gus and JK, really our three-headed beast with Lamar combined. Luckily, Buffalo doesn't have any rushing game, none whatsoever. They are a passing team through and through. Josh Allen threw 63 times against the Dolphins? 63 times.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's as much times as the quarterbacks from the Roger Staubach days in 3 games.
All I want to say is this game's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Right? 2 premier quarterbacks.
It should be the game of the week.
Yeah. But they're going to promote Brady and
well, that was last week, but
coming up. So I think it's
coming
something
up.
that Brady and Patrick Mahomes, the young against the old.
Yeah,
they're promoting that. But this is the game to watch, and luckily we're Ravens fans.
Hopefully, we can come out with a prominent win against a very good team that'll make. Because I don't want to just be this team that beats up on these mediocre and bad teams that always loses against these premier teams, the Chiefs, the Bills, Buccaneers. We need a big win that's going to make us feel good too, that this team has the capability of doing that. And how it ended in Buffalo on that playoff game, that should be in the minds of these players. Come out there, punch him in the mouth, because Buffalo's going to go to the Super Bowl. They are claiming this is the team to beat,
So we don't have that kind of pressure on us, in that respect, because they're all saying that Buffalo's going to the Super Bowl. But I will just say in this ending that it's just very fun to watch this team, no matter what. And I tell you what, last week it seemed hopeless with the way the defense came out, and we had that horrific game against Miami. But it feels good to win, Brandon.
And not to mention, Buffalo fell to Miami in a heartbreaking fashion. Ken Dorsey, as people have seen, gone viral, smashing the booth, pissed off that they lost the way they did. They are mad that they lost not only to Miami, but a division rival. So they're going to try to come in here and bust us, in the face. And we got to be able to take the punches and fight back. And I hope we can, and I think we can. I really do.
Historically, they're not a good road team, so hopefully that's to our advantage. But we have to come out aggressive. And Roman, do your thing. Keep the
Ironically, we haven't hated on him this year.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
For the first 3 games, his name hasn't even been mentioned, so he's doing fairly good. Still kind of.
I think he's doing really good.
Yeah, he's doing really, really good. And so.
But we will tune into you. It's Wednesday. We'll tune into you in a few days for the Buffalo game. Try not to make this is long of a wait for those of you that have subscribed. Thank you for our first few subscribers. Really appreciate it. Keep the comments coming in. We will respond to each and every one as they roll in. And let's go Ravens.
Let's go Ravens Nation.
Probably our longest one.
Well, how many minutes?
About 30.
Damn! I was a talkative son of a bitch, wasn't I?
I wanted to cut it off at 20, right? I want like 20 minutes, but what's funny is by the time we rolled to the second half, I was checking the time, 13 minutes have passed. I was like, oh shit.
It's all right. We were on the roll. So do you edit this when you go back?
Let's just go back where?